Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Maureen and I am so excited to have you here. Before we go further, don't forget to subscribe and press the like button. Alright, so this is my first video, guys. I am so excited and nervous at the same time. Um, this started as a challenge with my son. He's got a YouTube channel, and I basically was like, well, you've got very few subscribers. I bet you if I start a channel, I'm gonna have more subscribers than you. And he was like, well, mommy, do it and let's see. At first I was like, all right, I'll do it. And then I realized, you know what? I'm not going to lose this bet. So here I am starting my own channel. So I'm so excited to be here, and I cannot wait to take this journey with you, with all you guys. All right, so today I just thought I would start just talk about life in general. And I mean, we can't really say we're out of the pandemic, but we're slowly coming out of it. And just like everybody else, like when this whole thing started, it was a shot to our systems. I mean, we're all used to having a certain kind of routine. Um, we lived life a certain kind of way, and then when COVID hit, our lives pretty much came to a standstill, and we had to make certain decisions that we would not otherwise have made. Like for myself and my family, I've got two kids. They were in school, and at that point, that was like in March, they were pretty much like online schooling until the end of the year. And then after that, we had to make a decision on what would happen in the fall. I had a rising fourth grader and a preschooler, right? So my husband and I decided, after long hours and discussions, we decided to homeschool our kids. In essence, I was going to homeschool our kids, right? And I had never homeschooled anyone. I knew nothing about homeschooling. And obviously, I had heard of homeschooling. I knew people who were homeschooling, but I'd always assumed it was not for me. Like, I just don't have the patience for it. I can't imagine spending the whole day with my child, like teaching them. Like, I was like, you know what? This is not for me. All right. And I remember like talking about it with like friends and family a couple of months before COVID hit, and we're talking, and I vehemently like told them I would never homeschool my kids. Like, it's just not for me. Bless the people who do, you know, not me. Right? So imagine me having to go back and say, guys, I'm homeschooling my kids. In the next year, they were very supportive, but I'm sure at the back of their minds they were like, what in the world are you thinking? Yeah. And I had a lot of anxiety over that, over homeschooling. I had a lot of anxiety over, like, are we making the right decisions? I mean, obviously, I'm going to be teaching my kids majority of the time. Um, how's that even going to work? I'm a person who likes to be in control. I like to have things done a certain way. I like procedure, right? I like routine. I'm happy in that space. And here I was embarking on something I had absolutely no idea about. All right. I remember being on a call with my sisters. I'm not sure if they know this, but I was on a call with them, and we were basically talking. Like, I was trying to be all cheery and happy, and my older sister like paused, and asked me, she's like, "You don't sound okay. Are you okay?" And I remember in that moment wanting to burst into tears. I remember thinking, what am I doing? Like, that's how anxious I was about homeschooling. And they basically told me, you know what, we know you, you've got this. If anyone can homeschool, it's you. At that point, I did not have the same conviction, right? The decision had already been made, but I still wasn't convinced. And I remember looking and thinking, what am I going to do first? Like, obviously, I need curriculum, but after searching, there was so much out there that I was even more confused. So I reached out to my son's old school, and the principal was very helpful. She basically was like, okay, um, if you're planning on bringing him back to school next year, um, basically fifth grade, for fourth grade, this is what we're going to be teaching. She gave me a whole list of books, and me being a rule follower, I went and bought exactly what was on the list. I did not deviate in any way. So I had a curriculum, and then it was like, okay, now time to lesson plan. I had never lesson planned in my life. I remember having like a stack of books the very first time on the table and feeling so overwhelmed. Like, what am I doing? I am going to mess up my kids. This is going to be the year that they will look back and say, our lives got messed up, right? Our mother did this to us. She messed us up. And I was, I was so anxious. After the first week, things were a little rough. The second week, things got a little better. But after the second week, I came to a realization that my anxiety and just having these high expectations were the things that were causing tension between me and my son, especially because my daughter, well, she was like preschool. We really didn't do much, but my son was like fourth grade. And it took me a while, like the first 2 weeks, as I said, to get into a good routine, and me having to tell myself to relax, take every day as it comes, and don't be a teacher, right? Don't get into the teacher mode. You're a mom, you just happen to be teaching your child. Do the things that you do every day. Like every day as a mom, you're teaching your children, right? It might not be in a classroom setting, but you're teaching them. Do the same things, do the same things that you do, right? So, and also realizing that he's going to understand things at a slower pace. You're way older than you, right? You've already gone through fourth grade, right? So everything might look simple and easy, and I was thinking like, why are you not getting it? Yeah. And after like having that talk with myself and just relaxing a bit and offering him so much grace and just realizing that he's putting his best effort, things started to work out. I actually started to enjoy it. He started to enjoy it. We had more fun in the classroom. It was more relaxed. I gave him more autonomy to do stuff, to do his work when we wanted to. My son is an early riser, and he wanted to finish school early. So I would basically have a schedule for him, right? And he would wake up early, 7 o'clock. He's sitting at the table. He's doing his work. By the time I came down around 8:30, he's done a lot of his work and would go through the stuff, and the things he didn't understand would go through that. And by 11:30, 12:30 at most, our day would be done, right? So after like just relaxing giving him more autonomy, uh, we actually started to enjoy the flexibility of homeschooling, right? We enjoyed that school was done early. We could do other things. Um, we tried to infuse a lot of fun into the school day. And in between classes, I was able to do stuff, right? I would let him do his work. I would go cook, make breakfast, clean the house. And 12:30, I was having my me time for the most part anyway. And then I had a lot of just anxiety about what was happening around me, like with the COVID cases going up and everything shutting down. And I had to think of a way to distress. Obviously, it was as a parent, you don't want to show your kids that you're stressed out because they're already like in a place where they are fearful about what's happening in the world. So I'll be like, oh, happy, clappy, cheerful, you know, um, consoling them, making sure that they're fine, telling them like, everything was okay. But inside, so much was going on like in my head. So I found myself having to find a schedule for myself pretty much. Like as I said, I like having schedules, I like procedures. So I had a plan, like 12, usually from 12 to 12:30 I would go for an online like Bible lesson from our church, and then from 12:30 to like 1 I would go for a meditation class, and then usually before that, I found an online like wildlife show that would go like on for like 3 hours in the morning, and then 3 hours between like 12:30 a.m. to like maybe to 3 a.m. Believe it or not, I was up during those hours because of the anxiety. And after a while, you know, after like a while, I started to relax. I started to feel better, and I started to just feel like I was back to my normal self. So that really helped me, like finding things to fill up my day. Yeah. And obviously, with people working from home, my husband was also working from home, or he's still working from home. That was very interesting because we've never spent so much time together, like literally 24 hours a day, every day for months and months and months on end. All right. So we had to figure out a new dynamic there. All right. And that was interesting because, when you spend so much time with someone, you get to know them like a lot. Right? There's no room where you like someone gets out and go decompresses and comes back. You're pretty much in the same space every day, all day. And in hindsight, I'm not glad COVID happened, but I'm glad we've had the time. We've learned a lot about ourselves. We've learned a lot about our relationship, and we have come out of it. Well, we're still together, so that's a good sign. We still look forward to spending time together, like when it's done with work. So that's that's a good sign. That's a good thing, right? And then I also realized, like, you know what, we don't give it. I don't give myself enough credit for the things that I do, right? As a mom, we tend to be, as moms, we tend to be very hard on ourselves. We we expect a lot of ourselves, right? And it's like everything pivots, like depends on us, right? We look at our kids, are they behaving? If they're not, we blame ourselves. We look at our husbands, are they thriving? If something's happening, we blame ourselves, right? We don't take time for ourselves. We take everyone's burdens. And with COVID happening, it just woke me up to that, like to all the pressures and the burdens that I'm constantly carrying for other people. So I've learned now to just take time for myself, to just learn to decompress and to speak out. Like when I'm not happy about something or something is bothering me, I've learned to speak out. I let my spouse know, I let my friends know, you know, and I feel lighter and I'm happy for it, right? And I've also learned that um, it's okay to try new things, like things that you're fearful of. Like I was fearful of homeschooling, but now I'm like, I enjoy it. Like I enjoyed my year. I mean, we're done with the school year, and I've actually decided we're going to homeschool again next year, right? And part of me is like, okay, you must have lost your mind, right? And it's hard for me to explain to other people, right? At times when like someone asks me like, oh, are you homeschooling? And I'm like, yeah, I'm planning on doing it next year. At the back of their mind, they're thinking, oh, they usually voice it out and say, oh, is in virtual schooling, the kids are going back to school. I'm like, no, I'm actually planning on teaching them. I've had a few puzzled looks. I've had some questions like, um, are you sure you want to do that? you know, do you think you're equipped for it? And at the beginning of last year, that would have like, tripped me up a bit. Now I'm like, of course I am. I might not know everything, but I will figure it out as I go, one step at a time. You know, I will figure it out. That's been my motto. Like, I will figure it out. I might not know it right now, but I will figure it out. Right. So that's just sparked something new in my life of you might not know it. It might be a scary experience, but guess what? That is the place where you grow. You might not know everything. Nobody knows everything. Try it out, figure it out, and you will learn stuff along the way. You might fail, but you're not a failure, right? Which is a narrative that I had before. Like, I am a failure. If I did something wrong, I was a failure. Now I've learned, you know what? You're not a failure. You failed at something, but that something is not you. That is not the total sum of you. You are you, and what you failed at is just a little piece of it, right? So you are not a failure. You felt at something, but you are not a failure. So I've learned a few things. I'm excited on embarking this journey of just trying to discover myself, right? Try new things. I've got like a whole list of things that I've been like shying away from, being just afraid to try out. But yeah, I'm stepping out there and I'm going to try out new things. So I hope you take this journey with me of just self-discovery and just learning to embrace who you are, the real you, right? Not the you show the world, not the you want to be, that you're pretending to be, but the actual you. So I hope to catch up with you guys soon. Enjoy your week and take care.